Hey everybody, it's Matt with Mac's Video, and today we're doing a book review on the book series, the Asylum series by Madeline Roux. I'm doing a book series because, quite frankly, I was getting a little bit tired of all the anime reviews. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, I have a few other anime reviews to do, but I was like, you know what, I finished this series, let's talk about it. There's 3 books in this series. You have Asylum, Sanctum, and Catacombs. You have another book that's kind of like a prequelish book, Escape from Asylum. I believe it goes way to the beginning. But we're just going to talk about the 3 actual books. So I actually listen to these on audiobook like I normally do, just because it's convenient. But hey, so I'll leave all the details in the description below if you want to look at it yourself before you actually get into the review, because there's going to be slight spoilers. I'm not going to give away endings or anything. I don't like doing that. So let's get into it. This is actually my second time recording this video because memory space. Anywho, so the book centers around 3 like 17, 18-year-olds, Dan, Jordan, and Abby. Now, Dan is your main character. He's the one you actually follow, and you are in his perspective the entire time. He is very socially awkward. He has a dissociative disorder to where he makes it hard for him to make friends. He loses time a lot, all these things. So, he takes medicine for it, though, and he does his best to cope with society. He lives with a adoptive family, his adoptive mom and dad. He was in the foster care system for years and years, so that's the root of everything. But he is going to this kind of college prep program. It's the summer before his senior year of high school, and he goes there as kind of a this is what college is like kind of thing for the more intelligent students that they want to see exactly if this is the field they want to study when they get into college. He is a history buff, so he goes into the program to see history and learn about history and whatnot. Then you have Jordan, who is a big math whiz. He's a character that I was impressed by how Madeline Roux handled his character. He is a gay character, but they don't throw it in your face. It's not like gay, gay, gay. That's it. That's just one of his personality traits, I guess. Whatever. I don't go around yelling "I'm straight" to everybody, but hey. But because of the fact that he is gay, his family kind of disowns him a lot. And the way he got to go to this program was he lied to his parents saying he was going to one of those get straight camps. And his uncle funded him to go to this college prep program to study math. So that's Jordan. Next up is Abby. Abby is the, I guess, token girl character. And she is an artist. She does a lot of art stuff, drawing, picture taking, so forth, so on. So she comes here to study art. And so here's your 3 main characters. Each different book tackles a different villain, I guess you would call them. Different antagonists and different environments in some cases. The first book, Asylum, takes place at this New Hampshire college that they go to for this prep program. And the reason it's called Asylum is the college itself is built around an old state asylum called Brookline Asylum. And the students are actually housed in that asylum during this summer program. So during this, Daniel figures out some stuff about his family, his birth family. He figures out one of his uncles is the old warden of this asylum, Daniel Crawford, his namesake. And he figures out a lot of dark things about this guy. And he's actually kind of your antagonist in this book, between him and another spirit known as the Sculptor, who was a serial killer that was admitted to Brookline Asylum back when it was operational. and that's your main villains during this whole time. So they have to go through all the things of figuring out what's going on at this place, figuring out the past, figuring out the present, and it's a big suspenseful kind of mystery type. It's not so much horror as it is mystery. And the next book, Sanctum, takes place at this college, but it takes place as they decide some through the series of events in the first book. They come back to learn more about what happened, and they do it under the guise of being one of those freshman orientation weekends where you can come and learn more about the school and whatnot. And through this, they meet some new characters that come into play a lot in this book and the next book. One of them being Micah, who is from Shreveport, Louisiana. So he's one of them good old Southern boys. And this one, it kind of deals with the warden again, but it's more of his followers that this one deals with. And you deal a lot with this sort of secret organization called the Scarlets. And it's very interesting because it's kind of like one of those skull and bones type of organizations to where nobody knows about what it takes to get in it or who's in it or anything. Everybody knows it's there, but that's about it. So we go through all that, and it's very mystical powers that this book tackles. So, yeah, it's very interesting. The next book is Catacombs, and Catacombs takes place in a completely different part of the country. That takes place in the South, my neck of the woods. A lot of it takes place in New Orleans. Another good portion of it takes place in Alabama and several different cities. Montgomery, Birmingham, Mobile. They just skipped my state, apparently. They just went straight from Alabama to Louisiana. What about Mississippi? Mississippi! Anyway, so this one takes place in New Orleans. Jordan is actually going to stay with his uncle because he's tired of his parents dogging him about, his sexuality and whatnot. So they go down there and they plan a road trip out of it to kind of bond a little bit more before they all go off to college. Daniel's going to Chicago and Jordan's going down to New Orleans and Abby's, I think, going to California for a year off or something like that. So a lot of things is happening now. Well, they go down there and, of course, being these three, they find trouble. And the antagonist in this one is called the Bone Artists. It's an old fairy tale of New Orleans and Louisiana of if you don't eat your broccoli, you're gonna get your toes cut off by the bone artist. So, and you get to learn a little bit more about Daniel's actual past, like other than the warden, like his actual mom and dad. You learn more about them in this book. You learn about all like how Brookline is somehow attached to things that go on down here. Everything's connected, but everything's separate at the same time. She did a very good job of doing that. I found it very interesting. So, overall, I would give this book about a 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. It's good. It's not like great reading or anything, but it's good for young readers. People that, are wanting to get into like the horror, scary genre of reading, but they don't want to like go straight into like It or something. So this one's a good middle ground for it. So yeah, I recommend this to like younger readers or people that just get into reading. Something to bridge that gap between your normal fantasy and your horror fantasies. So yeah, like I said, I'll put links in the description below for all the like I said, I did it on audiobook, but it's available hardback and paperback, and I think it's on ebook too. I'll put all those links in the description. So if you want to check it out, check it out. I recommend it. I wouldn't do a video on it if I didn't like it. So yeah, if you like this video, please hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. It figures out what people want to see, what people don't want to see. I'll put more of my book reviews up here somewhere, and I'll put the subscribe button up in this corner. So if y'all want to check me out, see all the things I do, we have a fun time in this community. So That's all for me. I love all of you guys. I'll see you on the next video.